Look at that. Oh, it's looking at me. That's a good one, Dad. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. And here we are, catching crappie out of a camo boat, hence the name Camo Crappie. But before we get too far into it, let me remind everyone to hit the like button if you like the videos. If not, don't hit anything at all. And if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. And I will not take any more of your time saying those things. But let's go ahead and get into the video. So, what a difference a couple weeks will make. And we titled this video Casting to Early Winter Crappie because it's December. And once it gets December and the lake level is leveled out, it's not going to get any lower. This is winter pool. It is beginning to get cooler. As you can see, the water temperature is at 48 degrees. It has been cold of a mornings, really cold. We haven't had any snow yet, but I feel like this is the winter weather. You know, the leaves have all fallen off of the trees, and even though you're still going to have some, mild days, this is the beginning of winter. So we are casting to early winter crappie. And 2 weeks ago, I was on the water and had an amazing time. Let me show you a couple clips right here from that fishing trip.
They're just wide. There's one limit in the back live well. And there's the other one. And we easily averaged over a pound on our limit. We caught several more, but I mean, just
there's a couple slabs right there.
A couple good fish. So,
incredible.
We had a big time. We can't wait to go back.
What a great day.
So after having such a crazy day of fishing that day, and I mean, it got to where at the end of the day, we were catching pound and a quarter fish, pitching them back like they were just barely keepers. It was a lot of fun. We had one that was, it was scaring to death. I think it weighed on my scale like a 1.91, and which my scale's a little light, which I'd rather it be a little light than a little heavy. But so I know, the one that I caught that on the tournament scale went 2 pounds in September. It weighed on my scale like a 0.89. So I know it was close. But we had that one, then we had a couple more that were right there in between like 1.5 pounds and 1.75 pounds, and just a ton of fish that were over a pound. But on that trip, I had my cameras in the truck, and I should have put them in the boat. It stunk that I didn't, but we found fish just stacked up on cover. And here you can see these fish here, and there is a few crappie in there. A lot of that there that you're seeing is bluegill. And here I actually got my bait down in there, and we're going to see this fish come up to it right there. It comes to it, and it bites right there, and catch that crappie. But I could already tell that I just wasn't seeing the fish as well today, in which it was early. I was hoping, that maybe the sun get up, and it was cool. Which Daddy popped him a bluegill there, but I was thinking, we get the sun up, maybe these fish will either congregate more or something. Dad popped him a little crappie there, but not necessarily the case, as you'll see in this video. And I'll go ahead and tell you the best fish catches in this video are going to be like at 6:30, and then towards the end of the video. And most of the Livescope footage, you've already seen some, will be towards the end of the video. So if you don't want to, stick around and hear, kind of how the day went or that, you can skip ahead. I just want to make content that's enjoyable and hopefully something you can learn from. So if you're just here just to catch up on the Livescope or to see a couple big fish catches, and we do have one, my dad actually catches his personal best later on in this video. By all means, you do what you got to do. But you'll see, we're going to move a lot, and we get to move it because we fished for probably 20 minutes without really getting a lot of good footage of the Livescope. So I put that other camera up, and I was thinking I would find a pile that would have several fish on it that I could get some good footage. We actually went over where I caught this one here, and on the down imaging, I should have a picture of it. On the down imaging, I saw 5 fish on it, and I told Dad, I said, there's just 5 fish there. So we turned it around, and sure enough, put the Livescope down, saw 5 fish. So there was 1 fish there. Here you can see this big wad of conglomeration sticking up out of the water, and which the other thing about this day is the word had gotten out that the fish had been biting, because I skipped over like 10 different areas that I had marked fish because there was boats sitting either right on it or really close to it, and I hate it when somebody comes in on me, so I really try to avoid getting too close to another boat. But it was kind of ridiculous. There was a lot of boats out, and given that the fish were being as stingy as they were, and here's Dad's PB, and he'd actually switched up to using my pole there, but I'm just going to pause it here unless you hear.
Now, that's good. That's a net.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Up on your pole.
Yeah, here, let a little line out there.
Woo! Oh, that's a fish there.
That's a good one. We can eat that. I hope I had that camera. Oh, I did. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a big slide.
Grab this picture with it. Now you gotta hold that Wally Marshall plastic up. Oh.
Look at that. Oh, it's looking at me. That's a good one, Dad. GoPro stop capture. So that was the biggest crappie that Dad had ever caught. Which Dad, he'd take me fishing when I was a kid to the pond, but we never done a lot of fishing. When I was growing up, we were definitely into deer hunting and other outdoor activities, and we had a boat growing up, and he'd take me water skiing and stuff, but never real much on the fishing. And now that we're getting to spend a little bit more time on the water, and he's getting to fish with me, he's really taking a liking to it, and I have a blast having him out there on the water with me. But we were getting to use the new Wally Marshall Classic Series casting rod, and we only have one, so we was kind of taking turns there with it. But in this is an area, these guys here, they were fishing some brush kind of out on a flat, and I'd actually went past, and I remember back in the summer I'd marked this brush pile in really deep water, and of course the water's come down, so I was like, let's go in there and just hit that brush pile, because they were on some other stuff, and I had never marked what they were on, so I didn't, I wasn't pulling into their spot per se. I mean, I knew exactly what I was going to fish there, and we pulled in. There was several fish on it, and I think we ended up putting about 4 in the live well off of that spot. But you'll see here, after catching this
All
fish,
right.
they come over there, and we got to talk to them. And I,
Which one?
you know, kind of got to tell them how we were doing, and got a real good conversation. I'll let you kind of listen in to some of the questions they had.
They're aggravating today. Like I come down here 2 weeks ago and I caught them. I had 2 limits in like 2 hours, and today we've got like 5.
Well, you caught them several little ones. I can't get the little ones either.
Which we're using, he's got white and chartreuse and I got black and chartreuse. But I mean, they just barely are touching it. You've seen I've had 2 here recently that were good fish and they come off. They just barely are touching it. Have you opened your jig head up?
No.
Are you getting bit?
No, I'm not even getting bit.
Okay. Yeah, go with like a white and chartreuse or like a black and chartreuse. Or you're just going straight chartreuse?
I've just got a silver and chartreuse here, you know,
Yeah.
silver head. You think that makes a difference?
I don't know. We couldn't get them to bite anything that was just straight like white. Like it's had to have a chartreuse tail on it. Like this one here is a tube, and then that one there is like a split tail.
A split tail. But I'm using that Barbie Garland right there.
Yeah, I've caught a bunch of them on that Barbie Garland, but I haven't here. Like I have in other, like the water here is really clear, so I don't know. Do you got like a black and chartreuse?
I think I do. Yeah, I do, man.
Bye.
So the GoPro, it actually died before we could finish the conversation or get it all captured on the video. But ended up we set them up with a few baits, and we ended up leaving right before we left. Did talk to them. They were getting bit. They hadn't caught anything. So hopefully they were able to get on some fish. And you know, they said that they were surprised because most of the time a lot of fishermen won't give them information right on the water. But I told them, I said, oh, I don't care. I said, the way these fish are, I said, I'll tell you what they're doing today, because in a week they'll be doing something different. So I just seen them catch them some fish to that day, and like I said, you know, they were really friendly. And it's you know, that's one of the big things. It's all about catching fish, and I've had people help me get kind of right on the right track, and it was him and his dad were out there, and me and my dad were out there, so it was a good time. There were some local guys, and they were really nice. So if y'all are watching the channel, I hope y'all got after them, and I hope to see them on the water again. But back to these clips pulled in here. And I should have got my other camera out, and there was a lot of fish, and the way the wind was coming down the chute, I was just having a hard time staying on them, and ended up catching a few more to get us closer to the number. I think after this flurry, I'll have some Livescope footage again, but we ended up getting putting some more in the live well. And get us probably to about 12 before we ended up moving again. But you can see we're right at 30 foot of water, and you can see kind of our live scope there at the bottom of the screen, just kind of dropping to them and keeping tension and pitching out there and catching them.
There you
go.
Down right there.
It was just a different day. The bite was real finicky. You heard me telling him that, and you seen on the video, I had 2 bites. I mean, they just barely did have it. I ended up maybe putting a little. I mean, there's sometimes there just ain't nothing you can do, but
He's looking at
you know, putting a little pressure on them, and they end up pulling off.
Followed it.
But
Here comes the one at big.
got some. We were able to pitch out here and catch a few
I think he
on
spit
this
it back
pile. There he is. Oh, I missed
Finally
him.
got bit. Took me forever to get down there. You got one following. Now, come on.
But I hope you enjoy the video. I may pop
All right,
back in
Come on up.
here in a
Let me
minute
see if I can get our
and
scope on something.
comment on a few of these other ones. I'll let you kind of watch
there.
this, and then I'll probably pop in and make some commentary on towards some of these other videos.
You pulled 2 big ones out with that bait.
Have I?
Yeah, they were going back in.
Oh, you mean they followed it out?
Yeah.
Think it'll make a team a little better. Yeah, 11-incher.
Oh yeah, bring it right on in. You got one. Talk to him right there. Just a little. I want to come look at yours a lot better.
So here in this clip, 2 weeks ago, this thing was stacked full with probably about 25 to 50 fish, probably more than that, probably 50 to 100. But you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, and you just watch them. I believe that's me right there, probably about 20 feet, and I've got one's attention here. 2 of them, they start coming to it, and I'm just kind of bringing it. Look at them get right there, and then I'm just waiting to feel something, and just nothing. That's why I hadn't moved the Livescope, because I'm trying not to. But look, you can see where I kind of get stuck on the tree, and I pull it up over that tree. There's no love. And these are pretty good signatures here, and just no love from them. So I come on in, and Dad, he gets a pitch in on them, coming right in there at 30 feet. He put it right in the clown's mouth, and watch what happens.
Now. There you go. No, not all the way to the tip. Now, let's line out. There you go. Woo. No, but I think you keep. He made a good video.
I didn't know he was even on there.
Yeah, I seen him swirl. Yeah, he'll keep. Now you get to punch the clicker.
That's crazy. You think that's a good.
So after the last 3 or 4, it seems like several weeks, we've had weekends where we were catching, fish up in the hundreds, and even on Cumberland, had caught several in practice, and that was like the video last week. And then during the tournament, caught several fish, and was able to see a lot of fish and target them. And then the weekend before that, I believe I was here fishing, and caught, probably caught 75 to 100. Like I said, we had a limit of 30 by 10:30, and we averaged a pound of fish. Not all of them were a pound, but we had enough that were over a pound to keep our average there at probably a pound of fish. I mean, they were good fish. We had a blast. So I guess every once in a while you get humbled, and not that you know, I was a little disappointed. Dad, he told me that it was a great day of fishing. He said he caught his PB, personal best that day, and we still ended up bringing in 15 good fish, and it made a gallon bag full of big old fillets. So we're definitely going to get to eat those up, and was able to learn. And I don't know really exactly what we learned yet, other than you can see I'm kind of hung up there a little bit, but I'm gonna get her popped off of there. But able to just kind of learn and try to build upon this. Yeah, it was. There just wasn't fish stacked up, but hopefully we'll be able to build upon that. But we're gonna pop a good one out of the bottom of this here and go home. We appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the water.
Yeah, we probably should have netted it.
Yeah. Should have netted that one.
Yeah. Hold on.
That should be the biggest one today.
That is
may
my-
be bigger than mine.
Oh, I don't know.
These are good fish.
That is a good fish.
Oh.
I'm toast.